Okay, we're recording. Cool. Alrighty. This is my bike. This is a 2013 Suzuki V-Strom, the DL650. You can get these in the higher CC, 1000 or 1050 or something like that. This is the second generation shape or model, you know, from what I'm led to believe. When I bought it, it only had 33,000 Ks on it. I just hit 40,000 the other day, so I've had it for the last couple of months, and so yeah, done a little bit of travelling on it, up and down the southeast coast in Queensland. It's got the OGO side bags, which at some point I will replace. They've been on there since before I had the bike. I've sort of seen better days. Top box, I think it's a 40 litre. Yeah, the SH40, 40 litre shad top box. That one's alright. I got a large helmet, so it fits my helmet, but it gets a bit, I've got to put my helmet sideways in there, and it fits snugly if I've got the little Bluetooth intercom thing on the side of my helmet. If I take that off, it fits really easy. Sometimes I just get lazy and leave it on there. But yeah, just picked up a little magnetic tank bag to, you know, store stuff that I sort of access frequently and things like that. And then, but yeah, it goes good. I've done one service on it in which I replaced the spark plugs. It's actually got four. I was surprised to find out it got a two-cylinder bike, but it's got four spark plugs, two in each cylinder, one in the top and one in the side of each cylinder head. Was very interesting to reach the one in the end of the front cylinder. Had to take the radiator out to get to that. But yeah, it's what tires am I running here? Pirelli Scorpion Trail 2, I believe. Yeah, Pirelli Scorpion Trail 2. They're not too bad. They're quite good on the road. Can't fault them actually on the road. And off-road, I don't get too adventurous off-road, but I have done a little bit of sort of dirt road stuff, like, you know, unsealed dirt roads, but they're pretty good condition, you know, graded kind of dirt roads. And I can sort of fly along on those. That seems to be quite fine. Like any bike, I guess, you find that off-road, if you stand up, it sort of helps to stabilise things a bit. But yeah, so I just pulled up down along the beach here. You can't see the water, but trust me, the beach is just on the other side of those trees. It's quite windy out today, so I've got a second microphone that I normally add towards the rear of my bike just to capture some sort of engine noises and stuff from the bike, so that my voice is not the only thing you can hear. I keep a bit of bike noise in there, but I'm not going to put that on today just because it being so windy. I am positive that I'm going to get a lot of wind noise. I'll be surprised if I don't get wind noise even inside my helmet, actually. So anyway, I don't have anything in particular to talk about today, or even anywhere in particular that I'm going to go. So this is also my first video. I'm going to upload this one to YouTube, and so it's going to be my sort of grand entrance, I guess you could say, into the YouTube world. And yeah, I guess like probably a lot of people starting out in my situation, they've got no idea what they're doing. So, you know, let's just have no idea what we're doing together, shall we? Cool. Let's push this off the center stand. All right, jump on. Oh yes, I've got my little Android Auto thing. This is an AliExpress special. It cost me about $75, so go easy on me, people. And the mounting wasn't real fantastic, and so yeah, I've put in some little rubber cushion things up there to stop some vibrating and things. Get that out. Just running Waze at the moment. Also, before I get started, I'll just let everyone know that this speedo down here is not accurate. It's about 8 or 9% out. The GPS speedo that I run here on Waze, it's like dead nuts accurate. But yeah, what does it think I'm talking to it? Oh, I must have bumped the microphone button. Yeah, so that one there is accurate, this one's not. So like if it says I'm doing about 65, 66, I'm actually doing 60 kilometers an hour. You know, doing 100, it says about 108 or 109, something like that. But I'm actually doing 100. So in case there's any people out there that want to try and pin me for speeding, I'll let you know straight up, that is not accurate. I believe it's a common thing with most Japanese bikes. I'm told they adjust the speedo. What do they call it? Pessimistic. They favour the you know, they purposely set it a bit above, so that says you're doing faster than you are, and the reason is apparently to stop or try and prevent people from speeding or get speeding tickets. In my opinion, I just think, shouldn't they just tell us exactly what the unit of measurement is, because that's all speed is a unit of measurement, and let us decide for ourselves whether we're going to speed, you know. It should just be accurate, in my opinion. And I have heard people doing some certain things to the bike and whatever to correct the speedo, but personally, like, I absolutely love this bike, and I think Suzuki makes a fantastic bike. They're not the only ones, of course, but I just love Japanese bikes, and I really just I don't want to you know, I don't want to do anything to sort of change it from what it is. I like to keep it original. Any changes I do make, I like to have them reversible so that I can put it back the way it was, you know, like if I go to sell it or something like that. Somebody's put a shower curtain up at the public phone box back there. Wanted privacy during their phone call. Throw up a shower curtain. Sounds legit. Oh, that was nice. Yeah, the other thing too about changing these bikes that I've heard is, so this bike in particular is a LAMS approved bike, so it has a restrictor in it that restricts the power down so that it meets the LAMS power to weight ratio regulations. And so if you're, you know, on your LAMS license or on your learners or whatever, you can actually ride this bike. It's, even though it's a 650. You can definitely buy non-LAMS versions of these exact bikes, and that's fantastic. I have heard people saying that they de-restrict these LAMS approved ones, but then you have to obviously notify the transport department so that they acknowledge that it's changed and they take the LAMS approved kind of status away from it. I've also heard then that you kind of sometimes can run into issues with insurance companies, because like all insurance companies, we all know them, if there's a way they can get out of paying you, they'll take it. In the event something happens, you know, if they can get out of helping you, they'll bail on you every single time. So but that's not my reason for not wanting to de-restrict this. My reasoning for not wanting to de-restrict this is, firstly, like I said before, I like this bike. I like the idea of keeping it original the way it was designed. I think keeping it as a LAMS approved bike is probably going to, I don't know, add a bit of, not necessarily resale value, but resaleability, I guess. You know, it kind of caters to everyone with a motorcycle license, regardless of what their license is, not just those with an open R-Class in Australia, R-Class motorcycle license. So there's that. Plus, there's also the fact that I know myself, and depending on the mood and, you know, the situation, if I've got more power there, I'll use it. I know I will. And that's not always a good thing. So it's a bit of kind of sensibility, I guess, coming into that. But also, like, I'm a decent sized guy. I'm a pretty hefty guy, and this thing gets up and boogies and pushes, like, it's not a race bike by any means, but it pushes my bigger self down the road, no troubles at all. I can sit on, you know, 100, 110 all day long, no worries at all, and still have more, you know, plenty in reserve if I want to overtake or something like that. Like, there's no shortage of power. I'm more worried about the torque. You know, I've heard that if you get them de-restricted, that it opens up an extra so many horsepower. But they also say that the extra horsepower isn't really noticeable until after the rev range gets up around the 7,500 RPM. There's 7.5 grand in RPM. Like, I don't get this bike up there anyway, so if I was to de-restrict it, I don't think I would notice anything whatsoever. You know, if I was taking this on track days or something like that, or just riding like an idiot all the time, then, you know, fair enough. But that's not what I'm all about. I don't want to race on this thing. I want to explore on this thing, and it's, you know, it's my commuter as well. The wife and I have a couple of cars, one of which our son is borrowing at the moment. So we're down to the one car between the wife and I. And, you know, my wife, she runs her own business and she needs a car for work. So she's using our second car for work purposes and that. And, you know, leaves me with the bike, which, you know, not complaining at all. Unless it's like a absolutely bucketing down rain, then I might complain. But not to her. She might tell me to sell it. I'll be like, yeah, nah, that's not happening. That's not happening. But yeah, with the bike, with the power and stuff, you know, I figure rather than like de-restrict this, if the day ever comes when I feel like I would like more power, I'll just buy another bike. I'll just get one with a bigger engine. You know, I don't think that I would need extra power. Like, for me personally, the only instance I can think of where I would possibly in the future like more power is if I planned on doing a lot of two-up riding. You know, taking a passenger with me, especially if they're a big passenger. You know, taking them with me a lot. Like at the moment, yeah, I do take some of my children on the back of the bike at times, but it's not every time, you know. Plus the kids are fairly kind of lightweight anyway, so it doesn't really matter. When they're on the back of this thing, I don't even feel them. So I don't feel them in the suspension wise. I don't feel it power wise. I don't feel any lack in the power. Yeah, they're pretty small. Well, compared to me at least, they're pretty small. Everything's very, very slow paced down the Esplanade today. Yeah, like I said, it's crazy windy today. You can't really notice it too much here, but you know, you start looking up in the trees, you can see it, and when you get out in the open where there's no trees to shelter you, you notice the wind. It's kind of riding down the road before, tipped over, or, you know, like I was turning a corner but I was just going straight ahead. I just had to lean into the wind because it was blowing so strong. Yeah. Anyway, in case anyone's interested in the footage and sound and stuff like that, I'm using the DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro camera, and to that I've got paired a DJI Mic Mini, which I've got the Mic Mini positioned inside my helmet, so it uses like a Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or something connection, wireless connection anyway. Use a wireless connection to connect to the camera, and I've got the camera. So I've got like an adventure style helmet. Not sure if you can see in here. I'm using the DJI chin clip. I find it so good. I didn't want to do any permanent fixtures onto my helmet, so the chin clip I thought was a good solution, and cheap as chips. It was only like $19 or something, like $29. $29 it was, Australian dollars, direct from DJI. So yeah, good solution, I thought. Oh, come on, turn the corner, buddy. That's it. Your Kanga, your little digger thing on the back's not going to fall off. Yeah. So yeah, you can kind of see some white caps and stuff out there on the water. It's actually not windy here at the moment. It'll probably make a fool out of me in a minute and bowl me over. There's a lot of people out and about today, so everyone's enjoying a beautiful sunny day. There's the pier. Now that one used to be, I'm not sure if it's still called it or it used to be called the 1 mile pier, and it was 1 mile long, and it was, I believe, used for cane trains or something like that, putting them on boats back in the day. It's been shortened over the years, so it's not 1 mile long anymore, but it's still a fair hike out there, and it's a good spot for fishing and that. Oh, someone's on the Tanneray. Oh, I should have probably stopped for that boy on the bike there. I wasn't really didn't realise he wanted to cross the road. I thought he was just sitting there on his bike. I got the markets on down here today. Might turn around and head back up that way, I suppose. There's not really a whole lot of anything else to see. Yeah, and the other thing I love about this bike, fuel economy to the max. I mean, well, depending on fuel prices and that, of course, but this thing basically, the last time I went to Brisbane, so from Maryborough, Harvey Bay kind of area down to Brisbane, cost me $12.50. That's like a 3-hour ride or something. Well, not to the start of Brisbane, not anymore. Not now that they've got the Gympie bypass. Thank God for that. Any day you don't have to look at Gympie's a good day. No, I shouldn't say that. I probably have some Gympie locals screaming at me. Anyway, I did used to live there, and it was okay, I guess. Hey, here comes that wind now. Hey, decided to come back and bite me on the other side. Now I'm heading the opposite direction. The winds have changed. there used to be a house along here somewhere, and it was an old house, and it was painted like really, really bright yellow, the entire house, the roof, the walls, the guttering, the everything. And they had a big sign, big yellow and black sign out the front with its name. They gave the house a name. They called it Asbestos Manor, and they had a big story on the sign, and I believe it was, it could be wrong here, but I believe it was about, that the house was full of asbestos. I don't think they realised that at the time when they bought it, so they kind of felt a bit duped. But yeah, they found out the house was full of asbestos, and then they tried having the asbestos replaced and just ran into roadblocks every which way they turned, and they were getting no help from anybody. So I think the idea of painting the house a bright yellow like that was kind of a protest, because they didn't get the help that they thought that they were entitled to. So, but I believe it's gone now. I can't remember exactly where it was, but I haven't seen it now for a few years. So. Coffee shop, that looks good. Looks very good. There's an ice cream shop up here, and my lord, if you like ice cream and you've got like, exquisite kind of tastes, I guess, and you like certain flavors, this is the place for you. What do they call it? Planet 86 or something, because I think they've got like 86 different flavors of ice cream. So pretty full on. Yeah, the wind's certainly blowing me around a bit now. Sea Scouts. That'd be pretty cool. I wonder if they're anything like normal Scouts. Obviously they don't teach you how to make campfires out at sea, but I wonder if they sing Kumbaya. It's such a chilled, relaxed environment down here today. Everyone's just, taking their time and enjoying the sights. Oh, look, there's my shop. Blubber boy. I don't think I'm that big, but got a not sure about wherever you're watching from, but around here we've got a like most places in Australia at the moment, I believe, you've got somewhat of a homeless problem. It's really sad to see. But there wasn't a whole lot of help for them, but I feel like that's kind of changing, to a degree, so any help is better than no help. Well, Suzuki Swift was quite close on the back of me then. You got to sort of watch these things, eh? lots of different things. You know, obviously you got to be vigilant driver when you're in a car. Of course, you always have to be vigilant. I feel like though you have to be more so vigilant on a motorcycle because, well, for two main reasons, I think. The first reason being that you're practically invisible to a lot of motorists. You know, you get a lot of motorists that say, "Oh no, I always see bikes," but you don't. Even when I get in the car and I'm driving, you know, there's times when I'll miss motorcycles. It's not intentional. Oh, there we go. Planet 72. So they've got 72 flavours, not 86 or whatever I said before. But yeah, very nice. But yeah, you know, you're kind of smaller than a car, you know, so you're more inconspicuous, and you have to always be trying to do whatever you can to make yourself visible. Increasing visibility. So I've got some driving lights on the front of this bike that are quite bright. Sometimes people mistake them for high beam lights and they flash their lights at me, and that's okay. I'm happy with that. They see me, so that's all I care about. It's not bright enough to blind them or, you know, hinder their view or anything like that. It's not anything like that, but it's yeah, they're kind of not pointing at the cars anyway. They're pointing a bit, you know, towards the road, but you can see that they're a bit brighter white lights from a distance. And also, obviously, you know, your position in the lane is going to play a huge part in increasing your visibility. With this wind, I can't actually really maintain too much of a permanent position in the lane because it just blows you around all over the place. Another rider. G'day, buddy. He's on the T7. That's my next bike. That's my dream bike. Because I do like some off-road adventures and stuff, and not just on the road all the time. And the T7 is just, yeah, you can wait there, mate. The T7 is just an incredible bike. Not just performance, but reliability, you know, and serviceability and stuff too, you know, around Australia. Especially like if I had one, I'd be the first thing I'd be looking at doing. I'd be trying to do some remote kind of tours out in the middle of the country, you know, and some of those outback towns out there. You know, if you ride, you know, certain types of bikes, there's no chance of getting them repaired if something happens out there, you know. But Yamaha dealers and, you know, parts and servicing places and stuff are everywhere throughout outback Australia. Another thing I like about this Suzuki V-Strom as well is, yeah, reliability, and you can always get parts for them. So it makes for a cheap experience, and, you know, why pay ridiculous prices if you don't need to? But yeah, with keeping yourself visible and whatever on the road, you know, I don't normally like to sit kind of like I am now in the middle of the road. Just at the moment, everything's just so slow. Generally speaking, though, around town, I'll normally sit like over here a bit, like in the basically like the right-hand wheel track, I guess you could say. For a couple of reasons. The car in front of me can see me when they look in their side door mirror. I'm the first thing in their view. Same with the person behind me. They can see me, no worries at all. The oncoming traffic coming towards me can see me. I'm not, you know, over here hiding behind the vehicle in front of me. So the cars in front, they can see me coming. And also, you know, if, like before, if that little car behind me, if we have to stop in a hurry, and that little car doesn't stop in so much of a hurry, if I'm in the middle, I'm just going to get sandwiched in between, you know, the car behind me and the car in front of me. If you're out to the side, then at least you've got a bit of an escape route, you know. if you can see it happening and you know, sort of catch it in time, you can move over, take off, or even, you know, if the person behind you needs to kind of swerve a little bit to miss you, then you've given them the most space available to allow them to do that. Harley riders, man, they never, you give them the head nod, you never get anything back, eh? I don't know what it is. Everybody else, no problem, but I don't know. Harley guys, I don't know, I guess they just nod to Harley guys, or maybe they nod to nobody. I don't know. Maybe they're just, you know, enjoying the ride and focused on what they're doing. I'm not entirely sure, but I have noticed that, you know, I'm a friendly guy. I just nod to everyone and nod or wave or something. But yeah, I don't think I've ever got a wave or a head nod back from somebody on a Harley. So not sure why, but just one of those things that I've noticed. Yeah, if it wasn't for this wind, you know, it'd be an amazing day out. I mean, it still is an amazing day out. Look at this beautiful blue sky. There's some clouds over there in the distance, but yeah, nothing right above us or anywhere near us. So, quite a beautiful day. The thing about lane positioning too is, you know, riding in the centre of, you know, like you know, some roads, depends on the roads. Every road's different, but when you get those roads where there's kind of a clear marking of the right and left wheel track from where the cars and trucks have been, you know, driving. Riding in the middle of those I do ride in the middle of the lane sometimes on the highway. I've got a decent gap between me and the car in front and I'm just cruising, but I also I know the roads pretty well around here and I keep a watch out to make sure there's no humps or bumps in the middle of the road, because that's a big one. You know, you get especially with our summer heat that we get around here, it can quite often be up over 40 degrees and the road starts to melt, and then if you get soft patches in those wheel tracks where the cars drive over, sometimes it kind of pushes that up. Sometimes it kind of pushes that up in the middle, a bit of a lump in the road, and you got to watch those. They'll take you off the bike real quick. But apart from that, you know, I mean, I don't know if it'll show up on the camera, but even now I can see in that other lane, you can see the wheel tracks are kind of cleaner, and there's a darker strip in the centre. And that darker centre strip is darker because it's like all the oil and stuff that the cars are leaking as they're driving along. And so, you know, while it might be okay like now to just, you know, cruise along in the middle of here, especially at speed, it's something you'd want to stay away from in the wet, especially when it just first starts to rain. Hasn't had a chance to wash any of that oily stuff off the road. You know, when it first starts to rain and it hits that center of the road there, then all that oil just mixes with the water and it just becomes like an ice skating rink. It's slippery as. So center of the road, oil slicks. Oh, and apart from that, I tell you what, if there's anything that's something to avoid in the rain, it's white painted lines, especially those big arrows like you get in the turning lanes. Some of them have got a little bit of grip to them, a little bit of texture. I think that's just from like glass beads that they sort of put on there as well to add like reflectivity. But that does give a little bit of grip sometimes, but most of the time they're just big, slick, white, you know, arrows and stuff, and yeah, they get very, very slippery in the rain, and they kind of stay slippery, in my experience at least. And the other thing is the steel manhole covers. You know, I don't know why they've got to have manhole covers all over the intersections. Like, they don't have so many on the straight parts of the road, but then in the intersections they just have tons of them. And they're just big steel plates, and they don't have any grip to the surface of them either. And you know, it starts raining and you hit those, and man, if you're not paying attention, your front wheel will just disappear out from underneath you. There we go. How's that wind? Not sure if we're getting that wind noise through the mic into the footage or not, but I can certainly feel it blowing against my helmet. And thankfully my helmet's fairly good. It seals up pretty well, so it doesn't let a whole lot of wind inside my helmet. So that's good. Yeah. Anyways, kind of not real sure what else to talk about. Except there's beautiful weather. There's bike. Yeah, a little bit of road safety, or things that I've picked up at least anyway. Yeah, don't know. It's so relaxing though, isn't it? You know, I go for a ride down here. There's a just like a little beachside park thing up here. Gattaca's Bay, they call it. It's quite nice. It's nice ride, drive, walk, however you want to go through there. Oh yeah, that ute there was not. He did not see me until right at the end. He was not going to stop. I mean, he stopped. He was going to start again. Yeah, this is Gattaca's Bay. Just little parks and amenities, tables and chairs, and a beach. You get all sorts of people down around here, including homeless at times. Yeah. Yeah, quite choppy out there. I hope that's showing up on the footage. So the reason I bought the cheap little AliExpress Android Auto thing there, I was sort of looking at some of the more expensive ones, and I really do like the idea of them. But at the time, I wasn't sure whether it would be something I would get the value out of to justify the big purchase expense. So I thought, okay, you know, to help me feel like I've made a better decision and help the wife believe that I've made a better decision, I thought I'd buy one of these inexpensive units first, put it on there, and you know, see how much I actually use it, how much it helps, and that before I go and buy one of the better quality, more expensive ones. You know, justify my purchase decision. And I definitely will be, like in time, it's, you know, of course, in time, as I can afford it, I'll get one of the better ones, and yeah, because I use this one all the time, generally only ever for maps, but yeah, it's so handy. And I do, as you can see, I do have the phone mounted down there on the quad lock. And that's fine too. I could, you know, look at that as well for my maps, but I just found that, you know, looking down, looking up, looking down, looking up all the time, that kind of bothered me a little bit. And yes, I could have mounted my phone up above the dash there, where that Android Auto thing is. That's all fine too, but my phone's also not waterproof, so in the rain I've got to put the phone away somewhere. And you know, if I'm riding in the rain and I don't know where I'm going, especially, you know, around Brisbane and places like that, then, you know, I still need navigation. This little Android Auto thing, you know, doesn't have a whole lot going for it, but, well, they claim at least that it is waterproof. So I know that I would rather risk a $75 supposedly waterproof unit in the rain over my phone, which is more than that and not waterproof. So yeah, I find that to be a really good addition. Some people think it's overkill. I guess it depends on the person, and it depends on what you're going to be using your bike for. You know. Oh, I'm getting attacked. Welcome to Australia. I was getting swooped by a magpie. My lord, the season has started. I thought they don't start swooping until closer to Christmas time. Anyway. Attack birds. All those people from Australia I talk to. So you should come over here. It's a beautiful place. Oh no, you guys have got all the dangerous snakes and spiders and birds. Well, I fell off my chair the first time I was on Twitter, and someone said to me, they were poking fun at Australia, and they said, "You guys lost a war to birds." I'm like, what are you talking about? Lost a war to birds. Anyway, so I googled it, and they're not wrong. Like, we lost a war to birds. It was emus or ostriches or something out in the middle of the country, but yeah, I was like, okay, won't bring that up again in public. So that's a battle I can't win, even to birds. I love getting the opportunity to open the bike up, you know. I don't like, you know, don't rev it, but I don't need to rev it. It's very torquey, and it's got a lot of torque, and yeah, like I say, to push me around and all my luggage and stuff, I feel it does really well. Also, when I bought this bike, the same day I actually looked at, like I said earlier, this is a second generation V-Strom 650, and on the same day I looked at a first generation V-Strom 1000. And it actually had, so this had 33,000 Ks, that one had 66,000, exactly double the kilometres of what this bike had. I looked at this one first, and honestly I was already kind of sold on it before then, but I said, oh look, I'm going to go and have a look at this other one anyway, just to, you know, try and give everything the right sort of chance, and appease my wife as well, so I didn't, you know, buy the first thing I saw. But yeah, so we drove for like an hour and a half to go and have a look at this 1000cc, and it was a nice bike. The only thing that it had wrong with it was a little crack in one of the headlights. But he was going to get that fixed, and it was going to, you know, still come with the roadworthy and all that kind of thing. And he actually wanted only like he wanted about $500 more for the 1000 than what I ended up paying for this one. And the other one was nice, had aftermarket pipes on it, sounded really nice, all that. This one's completely, you know, with the it's got crash bars on it and whatever, and those bags on the back, but apart from that, it's completely, mechanically, it's stock standard. There's nothing being changed. But anyway, the other one, I thought, you know, okay, well, it's been played with a little bit, but it's done tastefully. It's got, you know, quality kind of things fitted to it and stuff. But for me, it was more about the weight of the bike. I was just trying to think, like, practically, you know, what's going to be more beneficial for me practically. And I thought, okay, well, shopping centre car parks, things like that, you know, slow moving scenarios. Would the heavier bike be too heavy for me? Would it, you know, become unstable and whatever? But also, if I drop the bike, which, you know, a good chance it'll happen, and I have dropped this one time, riding tired, I stopped for a rest, and yeah, silly rookie move. Anyway, if I dropped the 1000, would I be able to pick it up on my own? You know, have I got the actual upper body strength to be able to do it? And I wasn't convinced that I did, so I thought, you know, I'd go for this one. Mind you, I think there's only, you know, 20-something kilos difference between the two bikes. But hey, that's still 20 kilos. So yeah, I have, like I said, I've dropped this one that one time. I actually pulled up, I'd gone for a long highway drive. I pulled up on the side of the road because I was really fatigued. I was having troubles with my vision and all sorts of things, and just from being fatigued, and pulled up and just sat there on the bike for a minute, and then went to get off. But I left the bike running. And normally I always turn off the bike before I get off, but I didn't on that occasion. I didn't think about it. I just went to get off, and as I went to get off, because I've got the top box on the back, I stay standing on the pegs, and I swing my right leg over so I can dismount the bike like that. And as I did that, and the bike was on its side stand like usual, but as I did that, my foot came up and caught the bottom of the gear shifter and clicked it from neutral up into second, and the bike ended up stalling, but it was enough to make the bike jolt and sort of lunge forward. Didn't lunge forward much, but it was enough to throw it off the side stand, to fold the side stand up, and then the bike went down. I was still only half off the bike, so as the bike went down, so did I. Yeah, gave the back of my head a good whack on the ground, but a couple of little scuffs on the outside of the crash bars, but thank God I had them there, you know. I would have been much more disappointed with myself if I had not have had crash bars. Alright guys, well, this is going to be the end of the video. I hope I haven't been rambling on with too much rubbish. And yeah, if you guys have got any kind of tips, tricks, suggestions, anything like that would help me, you know, discuss better content or create better content, in whatever way. If I need to change something, if there's something about the video that needs to be changed, something about the audio that should be adjusted. Like I said, I do have that second microphone that I will be capturing like engine noise and that with. I just chose to leave it today simply because of the wind that's around. But yeah, let me know what you think, and yeah, let me know what I can do to make it better. If there's anything else you'd like to see, or let me know. Thanks guys, keep the shiny side up.